Maybe you think you should read 50, 60 or 100 books a year. But you do not really need to read all these books. Because most of these books are useless, especially when it comes to personal development. At one point in my life I was deeply influenced by personal development books and read every book I saw. I do not want to say that all personal development books are useless, because some of them have had a great impact on my life. But if you do not have time or do not read much, I want to introduce you to the ones that you must read because they can make a difference in your life. Most of what these books teach you are supposed to have been taught to you by parents, school teachers or university professors, but unfortunately this is not the case. I still read books but not like before. Because when you read a 300-page book and you do not learn anything new from it, you feel like you have wasted a lot of time. Well, let me introduce the books that really teach you valuable lessons. 1. 50 Laws by Robert Greene. This book has one of the most important influences in my life and is one of my favorite books. Unlike all personal development books, this one teaches you how to be brave. How can we not be afraid to be different, defend our rights, take risks and make bold decisions? The book is based on the life of Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent. The life of a rapper may not be interesting to you. I was thinking the same thing at first. There was every reason to go wrong in 50 Cent life, but it did not happen. He never saw his father, and his mother was shot dead when he was 8 years old. He lived in the same house with his grandparents and 28 others. He had to sell drugs to survive like his mother, and was arrested in high school for drug possession. He was very interested in music. But when he was 25, he stopped a car and was shot 9 times. On his hands, arms, hips, both legs, chest and left cheek. It was just a miracle that he survived, after which he tried to give up drugs and continue playing music. But now he could not rap by shooting his left cheek. Everyone else in his place gave up because his tongue was constantly swollen. But 50 did not give up and put all his energy into fighting and coming back. Now that he was dead, he was no longer afraid of anything. Failure, despair, whatever it is. If you want to have such a fearless approach to life, you have to make the changes in your life that Robert Greene suggests in his book. No one in the world was born brave. We were all born screaming and crying. When we grew up, we were afraid of the dark. We are afraid to be alone. We are afraid of being different. We are even afraid of our parents, at least when we were children. We either have to develop our brave personality or we have to stay where we are, where society wants us to be. 2. The Book of Influence by Robert Cialdini. Many books have been written about the art of communicating with others. Even Robert Greene has a book on the subject called The 48 Laws of Power. But it gives a darker perspective on human behavior, and in many ways it is true. But Robert Cialdini's book's influence offers a completely different perspective. And more about science than convincing others to do what you want. People seem to be smart and make decisions based on science and logic, but the reality is quite different. Humans are more emotional and often act irrationally. And this is natural because we face a lot of decisions and we consume a lot of information every day, so we need shortcuts to shorten the decision-making process. We are guided by these shortcuts. Once you understand the shortcuts, you can get a positive response from those around you. You can persuade them to be friends with you, help you, or if you are a salesperson, you can sell them anything you want and get a big commission. 3. The Richest Man in Babylon. I think everyone wants to get rich, even those who say we do not want. And this is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, money gives you the ability to do a lot of things. The most common advice is to just work hard. Working will make you money. But in reality, this is not the case unless intelligence is with him. That's why you should read the book The Richest Man in Babylon by Samuel Klassen. Once upon a time in ancient Babylon lived a rich man named Arcady. In fact, he was the richest man in the land. One day 2 of his childhood friends came to him and asked him how he got so rich while they worked hard but still could not afford it. He replied it was very simple. You do not have to spend all your money to save and invest part of it. Over time, your wealth will accumulate and you will become rich. Simply. Arcady lent some money to a sponsor so that he could pay the interest on his loan to Arcady and grow his wealth. These principles may seem simple, but they often do not understand it, so you should read this book page by page to make these principles an essential part of your life. Without exaggeration, one of the biggest financial habits you have learned is the ability to save, which at the same time is very difficult. Think about how much money you have made in your life and ask yourself how much of it you have now. 4. Flowing by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Most people are not happy with the way things are going. And they often complain about their jobs. But what makes it worse is that they spend their free time recovering in the worst possible way. What do you do when you get home from work? You watch TV. If you are a smoker, you smoke or play video games. But it should not be so. Your work can reduce your stress, give purpose to your life and make you happy overall. And this is called flow mode. This means that regardless of external factors such as money or incentives, you enjoy your job so much that it draws all your attention to itself and enables you to do it regardless of the outcome. This is what led Newton to discover the modern principles of physics and to offer Einstein theories of relativity. In today's world, reaching this level is really difficult because there are many factors to keep us away, but if you don't experience the state of flow in life, you are wasting your time. That's why reading this book is so important, because it helps you achieve this. 5. 12 Jordan Peterson Life Laws. I got acquainted with this book last year. To be honest, it surprised me. If you know Jordan Peterson, you know he's a proponent of responsibility. In his view, responsibility gives meaning to our lives. Agree with him or not, life is completely meaningless when there is nothing on your shoulders. In this book, he suggests small rules for improving life. For example, establish order in your home before criticizing others. Or compare yourself to someone you were yesterday, not someone today. Everyone seems to know these rules, but the truth is that people have a terrible life because they do not follow these rules. Look around you, everyone is criticizing each other. But if you take a closer look at their lives, you will find that it is better to focus on their own lives before pointing the finger at others.